During a stream of mine, a friend of mine asked if I could talk about Titanfall 2 Titans so that he could make a tier list for them. And so I did. Here you have my favorites. We'll do a favorites first, and then we'll do a game balance one, in my opinion. Favorites, Monarch and Ion. So, favorite Titans, Monarch and Ion. So, if you're not aware what Monarch does, Monarch is a Titan that instead of an offensive core gets a defensive core. It recharges your entire health bar worth of shields, so you get 2500 health worth of shields, and it gives you the bonuses of the upgrade cores you have selected in their order. So you have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and then after that it just gives you your shields back. I really like Monarch because of, well, this ability right here, which recharges all of your dashes, your defensive, which is basically just a stun with extra shields, that gives you some shields, and the offensive, which is just good against pilots. This allows you to go really fast, and because Monarch gets to basically steal health when executing up close, it's just a really interesting Titan with a much different kit than the other Titans in the game. The gun feels great to use. I love the mobility. I love actually having to worry about some matchups. For example, Legion. Oh, I'm not pushing Legion. I just love playing the damn Titan. I have it completely maxed out for a good reason. So I'm putting her in S tier for fun, and then for Ion, I love her flexibility. Generally, I tend to play a little more long range using the laser shot, but I just love that whatever situation I'm in as Ion, I have an answer. With Monarch, sometimes my answer is ejecting early so they don't get more core charge. It's that the primary weapon sucks a little bit, but honestly, I'm happy it does, otherwise I'll be even more ludicrous. I run 0-point tripwire because I'm constantly dumping energy into laser shot for good chip damage from range. And I'm running turbo engine to be able to reposition myself properly. Also, if you'll notice something, all my Titans run turbo engine. I even most of the time run turbo engine on Ronin. This is just good for LTS. So that's my two favorite Titans. Then right below it, I think I would put Tone and Legion for fun. I'll put Legion one lower. No, that's fine. So the reason as to why I actually enjoy playing Tone is because with this build, you don't rely on your wall, and you just deal a ludicrous amount of damage. With Turbo Engine, as per usual, you have more mobility, and with Rocket Barrage, you get 2 additional rockets per stream, which is a big deal because that means it deals more than an entire bar of health if you hit it, which instantly kills any Doom Titan. With this, you can pump out so much damage that the bonus rockets compensate for lacking the overcore, which gives you 20% of your core to start off with. Honestly, this allows you to play with splash damage a lot more aggressively, which makes Tone really fun, because it's really nice to hit rockets that you've arced around something. And then Legion, I don't know what it is with Legion. I just think that whenever I see there's a Titan in front of me, and I play Legion, and a couple seconds later they're gone, it's fun. I'm going to have a couple controversial opinions on the balance, on the balance list in a bit. Then for fun, Scorch. Scorch, custom name of the abilities are Fire. Well, this is quite literally Fire. Scorch, considered the worst Titan in the game. I wouldn't necessarily say he's the worst. If you have a little bit of practice on him, Wildfire Launcher Scorch is an absolute menace, dealing about a North Star shot's worth damage to a Titan if they don't move out of the thermite immediately with a dash. That's why I tend to run it. Scorch does insane damage with this kit at range. Besides from that, he still has the highest close-up damage in the game, if you accept Maelstrom from Monarch, I think. Or you count the moment damage from Legion's power shot critting you, which also is just silly. Though I don't know the numbers on this. Scorch goes here because his downsides I can feel them so well. When I play Titan modes, Scorch just always gets shot by North Star. It's just you get countered by Tone. Legion has enough range. Every single Titan has enough range except for Ronin, and then even still you get fucked. So you have to play Wildfire Launcher to really be competitive and like play the game. And then basically you're just poke shotting, but the projectile's really slow, so it's easy to dodge. Scorch cannot do jack shit against Northy. Not all the time. You do have, if you have this, and you time the flame shield well, and you know where the Northy's gonna go, there are times where you can out North Star the North Star as a Scorch. Because you just need 4 hits to doom them, and you need 6 hits to fully kill them. So because he has a defensive, with this, he can actually be a pretty tanky target against Northy. It's just that most Northies are going to be annoying. Then on the fun list, I want to put these two in their separate tiers. I'm probably going to put Ronin up here, and North Star down here. Ronin, honestly, if you compare Ronin's level to the others, you can see that I haven't played as much Ronin. The thing with Ronin is just, I've never practiced with him properly. I get absolutely annihilated in a lot of engagements that I just do not know how to handle, and I get shredded incredibly easily. I think mostly my lack of fun with Ronin comes from a skill issue. Wasn't I here for the editing of these? Yeah, I think you came up with the Guna kit. I think you were the one that came up with the Guna kit. We did that on New Year's. There's still some that, there's still some changes that I need to make, but I haven't bothered doing them yet. Generally, if I'm going back to Ronin, generally Ronin is quite the fun Titan, but I really only like him on a couple maps, that mostly being Relic on Attrition, because there's plenty of cover there, but there's also not too much cover, so I can sneak up on Titans to do anything with. I mean, here's the thing, right? If there's anything I want to do with Ronin, stunning, killing shit close range, whatever, being fast, if I really want to do that shit, I drop Monarch. Monarch doesn't have as high of a burst damage output as Ronin does, but I can make up for that. I have shields. I just build up health differential. It's free. If you just run at someone and spam level, they're probably going to clap you. I mean, yeah, that's not what I try to do. But I also just haven't put enough time into it. And then, honestly, why I put North Star at the bottom right, and if I make a balance chart, like a how well do I think this Titan is designed chart, and how balanced are they? North Star would be in D tier. North Star would be fucking gone. North Star be out of here. North Star, I mean, I played it for a little while. There's some fun to it. You deal incredible amounts of burst damage, are kind of frail, and very fast. Fast, lots of damage. Shooter players, dream. It's just, I'm kind of done. I'm done with the Titan. I've got 33 gens on her, and it's just all the same. It's the plain boring same. Pilots are a problem, but if there's no pilots around, it's literally you just kill Titans. You deal so much damage, most Titans die in a couple shots. I don't see the fun in it. Not anymore. I'm done. Fighting against North Star has to be one of the worst things to do in this game, because all they do is they hit you for a ton of damage and then immediately duck into cover, because they're fast. They can do that. And if you do manage to get up close, well, the North Star's probably got their core by now, because they're fast, so they might run over core. And if they've got their core, then you can't do much, because the core is actually better than most people realize, just because of the fact that most Titans can't execute you when you're flying. Which technically just give you an extra bar of health. As you'll only use the core when people are up close. Yeah. Honestly, if I need something to deal damage at range, I don't go for North Star anymore. I mean, yeah, the shot's a projectile, and does have infinite range because of that. If I need good range damage, I'm going Ion. As I said, I love Ion. I love her flexibility. She can do anything. She's also my fix to the hate that I have in North Star v North Star fights. I don't like North Star anymore. For all I care, the Titan would be removed and the game would be better off. I actually think, right, if we'd be removing North Star, it would be a very interesting change, is to make Tona Strider. Remove a health bar, give her an extra dash. Yes, you'd have more aggressive play. However, because of the removed health bar, it'd be much easier dealing damage with more aggressive dealing more damage to more aggressive tones. So, what then? You deal a lot of damage, but you also can't take as much as you can right now. Anyway, this is my fun tier list. People might disagree. We just ignore this for a bit, because I can't change them around. How well balanced do I think some Titans are? Honestly, North Star goes down there. I've explained this to a couple other people recently as well. North Star, I think, is the most poorly designed Titan in the entire game. You're allowed to disagree. But if there's any Titan I hate on nowadays, it's not Ion, it's not Monarch, it's not Legion, not anything, not Tone, it's goddamn North Star. When there's pilots around, yes, good North Stars might be able to deal with them. Really good North Stars. Which, okay, fair enough, you got good at shooting the plasma railgun. That's still got a pretty significant fire rate, so you can still get bum rushed. The thing is, when there's pilots around, Norths are significantly weakened. Because she's just not as good against pilots as most of the Titans. When there's no pilots around, she completely warps the game in a way that it is North Star or bust most of the time. Because really the only way to protect yourself against a North Star is to kill them faster than they kill you. And Ion's cool and all, but if it's a good North Star, they'll kill you. If it's a good Ion, they'll kill the North Star. It kind of depends on how that works out, but generally, I think North Star is terrible. Like, in design-wise, North Star is terrible. And I don't like her at all. As for, let's say, Monarch's controversial as fuck. I don't see anyone talking about North Star, which I think is very silly. Like, Tone's getting laughed at, Monarch's getting laughed at a lot. You know, I think North Star should be the topic of controversy. Then yet again, most people that were on Reddit while I used it, don't think we're at the level of that they actually played against competent North Stars. Because those are just painful. Monarch, balance-wise, I would say A tier, probably. The thing is, right, the problem that most people have with Monarchs is that they're not aware enough of what's going on in the game and give the Monarch time. And if there's anything you shouldn't be doing, is giving the Monarch time. Monarch's a snowball Titan. So, ironically, what me and my friends do, first drop Monarch in attrition, okay. We drop everything, we kill it. Monarch is incredibly weak against swarms of pilots, you need to swarm her. And otherwise, Monarch is easily countered by the likes of Tone or Legion. Especially Legion, because Monarch likes getting up close, right? Tone can't really deal with that. Legion can very well. That gun shield is a huge problem. Siphon obliterates my frame rate. PC issue. I genuinely think Monarch's a fine Titan. She's got her weaknesses in that she can't really deal burst damage. And she has no real defensive abilities, so Titans with proper defensives can just outplay her. The barriers are the best defensives against Monarch, because she can really, really poorly damage them. Like, I think she can just about one-mag the shield of a Legion, at which point Legion is just deleting half your health, even if you had a full bar shields. The problem arises when people let Monarch live too long. I'm probably going to give the hottest take that anyone's ever seen. Hottest Titanfall balance take. Legion's perfectly balanced. Great design. He doesn't need to be complex. Legion's got good flexibility in his kit, but is hampered by his mobility and the fact that his defensive ability isn't overwhelming. His damage is fine, but can be played against, for his speed is and therefore you can easily find cover. And he can run out of bullets, but the Smart Core can compensate for those weaknesses, and easily allow you to deal with those things. I think Power Shot is a great design ability. For long range, it counts. It's basically a North Star shot, and up close, it's just a bullet sneeze. It gives him a nice flexible kit.
And this, right here, is where my internet cut out. So, I'll resume in just a second.
So, Berg. Yeah, I was saying how I think Legion is a perfectly balanced Titan. I mean, he has bad matchups, he has good matchups, he has neutral matchups. I think Legion is how you make a fight like winnable if you're good, losable if you're bad, and generally more interesting than a ton of the other fights in the game. Let's see. Got a trump card up my sleeve, not even close to Jover. I'm gonna have to look at these now. I think I'll put Scorch in C tier just because he's too niche. Scorch, right, has a... If you ignore Wildfire, if you're good with it, it fixes his problems. The problem with Scorch is that he's too niched into close quarters area denial. And the maps just aren't built for it. Unless you're on Complex. I mean, that's Complex. God damn it. It's a close-up map with a bunch of long sight lines. There's no mid-range on it. Tone is still great, because there's one LTS hole where you can hold, and then hold that half of the map, but we ignore that. He's too niche. And I don't think that's doing any good for him. Tone... Probably A tier. The thing with Tone, right, is she's not good at long range, and she's not good at close range. She's mostly good at mid range. Very much up close. Okay, yeah, Tone can still deal a whole bunch of damage. But also, Tone is most likely dead. Of long range, I mean, first of all, it's much easier to not get hit by the rockets. Second of all, it's a lot harder to hit those projectile shots. And lastly, all of Tone's damage is backloaded. It's literally just count 1, 2, 3, and then dodge the rockets. And besides from that, she doesn't really do much damage. So, with Tone... I mean, okay, she's fine, right? She has her good points and her weak points. There's still some icks in how to fight her, but generally, I think it's good that her amount of damage is locked behind a requirement and some skill. Yes, I just said skill. I do think a decent Tone, like in the type of lobbies that I play, at least, you need some skill to play Tone. If you just click thrice behind a wall and then press Q to fire them straight, they're not going to hit. You need to know the map. You need to know where your opponent is. You need to know that you need to be using splash damage mostly to lock onto people, because splash damage around corners is ridiculous. And you need to know how to arc the rockets. It's not that difficult. But if you don't know how to do that, then it's Jover. Ronan? I don't think anything's going up with S tier, I'll be honest with you, if we're looking at balance. Ronan, good matchups, bad matchups. He's interesting because a great Ronan... Like, his main problem is his range, right? And the fact that he does burst damage. He has no real consistent damage. The core's kind of ass because you can get melee. You can just get melee boxed where people punch you away before you can strike with a sword. Besides from that, I think right, he's just fine. Good burst damage, but no real sustain. No real range, only up close. Good mobility to compensate for it. But really frail. Generally, actually, I might just move him down here. The main, like, the thing is, right? Well, if you're looking at a fast, close range hit and run Titan, like, his design for hit and run is really good. But balance? Yeah, no, his balance is probably up here. And then for Ion, I'm going to move her in this real quick. I'm going to go remove this row. Ion, balance, probably B tier. The reason because of this is right. If we're gonna look at this real quick, Ion. So if you don't know yet, Ion's abilities don't have cooldowns, with the exception of the Tripwire. This is because all their cooldowns are shared with an energy pool that after some use or after no usage for a little bit starts to recharge. That's how the abilities go on cooldown. The laser shot, the alternative primary fire, and the shield are guaranteed to use energy. This can have its energy factor removed, and be brought down just to time. The reason why I think Ion's here is because if we're to look at all the Titans in the game, except for Ion, all of these Titans' projectiles are caught by the Vortex Shield, and you can fling them back. Ion is the only Titan that is not hurt by shooting into a Vortex Shield. I mean, granted, it's not great, especially in an Ion v Ion encounter. You really don't want to be shooting into a Vortex Shield because it's probably going to be a laser shot that you're shooting into it. In Ion v Ion, it's really playing mind games of who's blocking the laser shot and who's blocking the who isn't. But generally, I think she's too flexible for her own good, and her defensive ability is too strong. I think it should either eat a little bit more energy or deal less damage. So I think this is balance. And then if I had to make a strength... If I had to make a strength tier list, I'm going to go do this very quickly. Strength, that goes up there for sure. This, because it's not usually... He's good, he's not that broken though. He does get eaten by Legion. Monarch's pretty good. Actually, I put most of the times, like, this is really dependent on game mode. This is really, really dependent on game mode. Like, if it's LTS time roll, right? It goes up here. Easily. Shares the spot with Ion. If it's not LTS or Titan roll, probably goes down here. I put Scorch here for the generally experienced. Tone, strength, really good at killing pilots. Legion in the average hands is about here. Now that he has enough information, he's going to make his own tier list. Let him cook.